Gentlemen, welcome back to the Tiege Hanley Starting a Business, Building a Brand vlog. This one, big number 60. And it is officially the new year. How's everybody? Good? Were you safe? Huh? You still hungover? What? It's been a week. I just want to say what's up and really excited about the new year here at Tiege Hanley. Although we did have a big issue yesterday with some of our shipping. We use, it's a software called Shipping Easy, but what we use is the Dymo Thermal Big XL. Let me actually show you. This thing, obviously I'm not a Tiege Hanley. This is my Pete and Pedro Dymo XL label printer, and I've got multiple ones. This is actually one that crapped the bed and does not work anymore. And that is one of the issues. If you are relying on things like this, you need to have a backup. I got this on Amazon, so these are the best things ever invented in terms of printing out those big shipping labels that you see on Tiege Hanley. And we had an issue with our printer yesterday, and so it was it's good now. We're good, and you should be getting your boxes. Lots of boxes. Give you a little update. I have been doing so on my YouTube channel, Alpha M. I usually, like last year, I had a lot of, product promotions where I talked about different products and all that good stuff. And so when I have a lot of paid advertising that I do, I don't get to promote Tiege Hanley as much because Tiege Hanley, it's not, it's my company. It's not paying. It's the same sort of thing with Pete and Pedro. I'm not, constantly just hammering people with Pete and Pedro promotions. But with Tiege Hanley, I really wanted to get a jump. And because in January it's pretty slow in terms of sponsored content, I figured it was my opportunity to really get some great content out there, do some videos that I've wanted to do, and work in some Tiege Hanley promotions. I love working Tiege Hanley into some of my YouTube videos. It's a lot of fun. And so I've been doing that recently. I've promoted Tiege Hanley quite a bit, but one of the byproducts of that is that sales go nuts. And so we have done just incredible business over the course of the last 2 months, actually 2 months, 2 weeks. And it's rocking. So much so that we are actually having to place another order already. It seems like literally just yesterday we were dealing with all the stress of getting our products to the warehouse, and I did a video about you cost us $7,000, and you guys were like, you cost yourself money, and I'm like, yeah, okay. It was a joke, but whatever. And so we have to place another order already. We're not even done paying off the invoices that we incurred from last order, because like I talked about in many vlogs, you really need to make sure that you get the best terms as possible. And so everybody requires a deposit pretty much upfront of X number of percentage, and then 60-day, 90-day, 120-day, you try to negotiate the terms in which you need to pay. Well, for us to place another order, our terms aren't up on the first or on the last order. So we're having to actually throw cash to pay off those invoices, then come up with the cash to do 50% deposit for the next order. And so right now we're just, in the midst of, trying to say, okay, well, how much money do we have? Do we have as much as we need in order to pay, all these invoices, which is what I was talking about the other day when I was talking about, the need for capital or access to capital, and why raising money is such a thing in terms of such a thing. That's insightful. It's something to consider because Tiege Hanley, like a lot of these other companies or these other businesses like Birchbox, Dollar Shave Club, have to raise a lot of money in order to really just scale things, because Tiege Hanley, like a lot of these other companies that are subscription-based, just require so much money to be tied up in inventory. And that's something that we're dealing with. Bringing us to one of the questions that was left on the last vlog, which is, where do you go to find venture capital funding? I talked a bit about the need on last vlog about raising money, and that's a really good vlog. If you guys are thinking about starting a business, go and watch last week's vlog, because we really are, I dive into detail about, sort of why you would think about raising money and why you would need to raise money in order to propel your business and grow it. And the great question was asked, where do you go to find venture capital? Google. Google is an amazing thing. Google search it. Google search if you're in technology, Google search tech venture capital, tech venture funds, and a lot of times when you find one, you can sort of get an idea and start finding other ones, what the sort of buzzwords are and what they're actually doing. If you know of a specific company that got funded, you might want to Google search Dollar Shave Club venture capital. So I just did a Google search for Dollar Shave Club venture funding, and an article came up from Crunchbase, and there you go. It lists actually all the people that invested. Founders Circle Capital, Venrock, Forerunner Ventures, Klein Perkins, Caulfield and Byers, TCV. So, and then you can click on those links, and it's a humongous spider web of information. But Google, if you know a company that is sort of like yours that you suspect had funding, Google search it, and you'll probably find some resources and at least a direction on where you can start looking, calling, and figuring out what they're going to be expecting or needing in order to fund you and your business. All right, so now let's talk a little bit about something that Tiege Hanley is working on, something that you may have to deal with when you have a business. If you've got a business that is sort of a subscription reoccurring model type business, our customers fall into three categories. You've got active subscribers, you've got paused subscribers, and you've got canceled accounts or canceled subscribers. Canceled subscribers, somebody tries it maybe a month, 2 months, or just once and decide, I don't like this, cancel. We have a few. We have some of those, but compared to the other numbers, it's like very, very minimal. We are not right now currently actively trying to get them back on the Tiege Hanley system or account. We've got other fish to fry, bigger numbers of fish to fry in the other pause category. Active subscribers, people that are set up on some type of regimen. They're getting their system every 25 days, 35 days, 45 days. You go in and you actually select, as you guys know, how often you get your Tiege Hanley system sent to you. One thing that we really spend a lot of time, energy, and money on and thought is the dashboard, the user experience, to make it as intuitive as possible and as easy for somebody to basically select and to customize their delivery schedule as much as possible. And it doesn't get any more customizable than what we currently have going on. So active subscribers, they're good, going great. But it's these people that have been on pause that we're dealing with. Tiege Hanley's been live for 7-8 months now, and that number of pausers is high. It's not as high as our actives, but it's high, and it grows daily. And so what we are trying to do right now is figure out some type of email sequence to re-engage people and get them, sort of back into the swing of things, and to get them from pause to active. Now, active doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting it every 30 days, but it just means that, okay, hey, don't forget, you still need to be handsome, and your skin is not getting any younger. And so go in and customize your delivery schedule. And so we are setting up an email sequence to actually try to get people back on board and to get them engaged and using Tiege Hanley again. Because at the end of the day, it's a business. We can have a zillion people on pause, but we need them to be active in order for us to move units, move subscriptions, move boxes. And so we have started creating an email sequence that will start basically at the 3-week mark. So if somebody pauses at 3 weeks, we send them an email. And it basically is like, hey, so-and-so, thank you so much, blah, 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 blah. But we just want to let you know that there is the ability to customize your subscription so that you can come off of pause and get active and get handsome again. And so we have developed the first email in that sequence. And so we're sending out basically to everybody who's been on pause for 3 weeks this email. And then we're going to send a different email 3 weeks after that, setting up a 12-month schedule. That's kind of our idea right now, of emails to try and get people just sort of back into the swing of things. This is something that we're just rolling out now, but it's incredibly important for you to make sure you have some type of follow-up sequence, because people forget, people get busy, it's the holiday season, maybe money was tight, now it's not. And so if you're a business and you have some type of subscription service and you give people the option to pause, which is great, because if they only had two options, active and cancel, that's not good, as we discussed in previous vlogs. And so we're in the process of transitioning and starting this email sequence. And I will report back next week sort of how it's going. If people are jumping back on and what sort of has happened as a result of the first email. Because as of today, we haven't sent any. As of the day I'm filming this, we haven't sent it yet. One of the issues we have is that our database needs more memory. We have a lot of customers and we send a lot of emails, order confirmations, tracking information, all that good stuff. It's a lot of emails and it requires a lot of database room. And so with this new sort of initiative with the unpausing, we need to upgrade our database. And so it's always something, right? So I'm super excited about getting this initiative with the email sequence and the pausing started, because it's kind of a little bit, it's part of the game and I get it, but I work hard to gain subscribers and to gain customers, and so it's frustrating when you take 3 steps forward and then you take a step back every day because of people putting it on pause, which is their God-given right to put it on pause, and that's how we've designed it. But for me, being that my job is marketing and sales, and that's sort of what I love doing, it's hard. And so I'm really excited to finally get this going. Should have happened a while ago, honestly. We've just had other things, other fires that we've needed to put out, and other things that have required our attention more so than this. And so I'm really excited to get a system in place. And I'll share, I'll let you know sort of how it goes, because as of today, we haven't sent any, or I should say as of the day I'm filming this, we haven't sent any of the paused people this email yet. And so we're getting ready to. Another thing that we've sort of toyed around with doing, because this is so video heavy and because I'm an influencer, maybe some of the other sequence won't be just an email. Maybe it'll be a video, or maybe it'll be a phone call. We actually have considered making it, on the 3-month, if you've been on pause for 3 months, actually calling and being like, hey, just wanted to touch base and say hi. And so, we're really focused on customer service, as you know. I mean, this business is built on customer service and doing the best job we can, and supporting you on your quest to be more handsome. And so, we're just playing around. I mean, there is nothing set in stone, and that's one of the takeaways from this vlog, is that nothing is set in stone. Just because it's not standard or something's not customary doesn't mean that you can't do it. Will it require extra bandwidth? Will it require extra time? Absolutely. I can tell you a story that I'm dealing with Pete and Pedro that sucked, but it's been kind of cool nonetheless. For the past 3 months, Pete and Pedro has been getting pounded by one guy making a lot of fraudulent transactions using stolen credit cards, and it's for no other reason than to cause me pain and suffering. And so, we're working on getting a fix, but in the meantime, it's something where, and we're talking about like 400 fraudulent orders, like every day, like 5, 10, and it's always different names, it's always different addresses. It's absolutely insanity that somebody could be this fixated on just being a pain in the ass. And they are, and congratulations. And if it's you watching, well, you're awesome. That's a word. But one thing that I've done is I've started to actually call people. Every day I pretty much call my customers just to make sure that A, they're real, and B, just to let them know that, hey, this is, this is me, thank you for your order. And it's taken about 2 hours of my day to actually do this. Now, so as you can see, calling people for this pause, sort of situation will take time. The good news and the upside to actually getting engaged and calling people and talking to them, is it a long-term solution for me at Pete and Pedro? No. Am I about to have a fix so that it will drastically reduce, if not cut out, the fraud? Yes, almost implemented. It's really allowed me to sort of connect with customers. And I mean, it really surprises people when I pick up the phone and they answer and it's me, the guy that they're watching on YouTube, actually calling just to say, hey, thank you so much for your order. Just wanted to let you know that it's going out today. It's been really awesome. And so in lieu of, or in light of all the headache and the hassle of dealing with somebody who's an asshole, it's been a good thing because it's allowed me to reconnect and sort of to really just get involved in what is going on. And so with Tiege Hanley, the idea that we're going to start calling people or just to do something a little bit different, it's not customary, it's not standard, but I don't really feel like Tiege Hanley is a customary standard type business. We're doing things different, and the customer, are ultimately our number one priority. And so, and so these are some things that we're toying around with. So just as a takeaway, just because it's not customary, just because it's not standard, doesn't mean that you can't do it and that it's not a great idea. This vlog is not customary and standard, but I really felt like it was an opportunity to really just talk about the brand and to give value and to help some people. So I guess on that note, I will leave it there. Guys, if you've got any business related questions down in the comments, let me know. Next week, I'll let you know how the Unpause initiative has sort of gone and what we're seeing from that. And I mean, it might just increase our cancel rate, which I'm sure that will affect that. But, you got to try things. You got to shake it up. Gentlemen, if you have not tried Tiege, you probably have, or you're going to soon. I'm not even going to give you the hard sell. All I will say, though, is that we thank you each and every day. We realize that this business is nothing. And when I say nothing, I mean nothing without you. And so thank you for your friendship, your support, your watching this and just being a part of this process and this journey, because I promise you something. Tiege Hanley is special, and we are going to do amazing things together. And it's going to be really cool when you can just kind of look back and be like, I remember when he was, doing this and doing that, and sent me an email about which package to choose. And so it's really special for me. It's special for Rob, Kelly, and our chemist, and hopefully you enjoy this. So guys, thank you so much for everything, and I will see you next week.